Hi everyone, welcome to another EVE Talk. I'm the Lone Wolf. What I'm showing you in the background this time is how we loot a level 4 mission. So I go in with my Orca and tractor all the wrecks to me, while my brother and Arvales go out and salvage everything they can as quickly as possible. We feel it's a pretty efficient way of looting the field, since nobody has to go back to a station, and because their cargo hold is full, everything gets dropped in our corporate cargo hold, and if they see anything that they want, they can just take it out at any time. Moving on to the mineral market, prices are still very high. I went back to Dodixie Friday and sold for a few more 100 million ISK in minerals. And the reason I think that the prices are still so high is twofold. Two things are happening that I did not expect. First of all, the war in 0.0 is still raging on in full force. In fact, no major mistakes have been made so far. That means that there is a clear loser in any of the major wars. But there have been some super capital kills of the last few weeks, so that does mean that if they want to replace them, that they'll be going full out on their capital production as well, and so demand for minerals stays very high, while there are an enormous amount of ships that are getting destroyed every single day. On top of that, CCP has restarted their war on bots. So they've been banning a lot of bots in the last few weeks. There were some posts on the forums there with some nice tiers from the botter forums as well. So of course, if they're taking down bots at this time, that means that supply is going to get lowered. That's assuming, of course, that it's a lot of mining bots that are taken out as well. But that's probably another reason why prices for minerals are still high and even rising a bit in the last week, I'd say. CCP also released a dev blog on their efforts to fight the bots. Two things stood out to me in this dev blog. First of all, there was some speculation that CCP only started banning the bots again now to get some nice publicity before FanFest. This isn't really true. What actually happened is that due to the restructuring of CCP, they have not been able to go all out on their efforts against the bots for quite some time. But after they had announced their war on bots at the last FanFest, they actually try and do this in waves of 2 weeks, where they ban all the bots that they found. But it is only recently that the team has been fully reformed, and so they've started these 2 bi-weekly efforts again. The second point is that point that was made on the forums, and especially on the botter forums, that CCP isn't serious in their efforts against the bots because they're going to lose revenue if they ban all of them. While it's true that these botters are of course also paying accounts, one has to keep in mind that it's the same with the Plex prices. CCP actually prefers lower Plex prices because it makes the Plex far more available to more players. And it's the same with botting. You have to keep in mind that one bot, from what I read, they try and keep them active around 10 hours a day. So I'd say that one bot is an equivalent in activity of 3 very active players. And CCP actually will prefer subscribers that play the game very little, and the less time they spend in game but do pay, that's their favorite kind of customer. And so these bots will actually, one bot that's running for, I'd say, 10 hours a day is probably representing 3 other players that could play the game and bring in the same amount of activity of ISK and of raw minerals. So in the end, if they take down one bot, the effect on Plex prices should probably be equivalent to 2 or 3 players being active in the market, and whether or not they pay with Plex or pay in money, that doesn't really matter. It's the overall activity that's actually the real problem for bots, and the reason why CCP will always try and get rid of them as much as possible. Finally, on MMORPG.com, I saw that the Japanese localized client is slated for release on March 28th. and that's pretty interesting. That's definitely a time where I'm going to check out some of the systems where new players start and see what kind of activity and if any, of course, these new Japanese players bring to EVE Online and what it could mean. I think it has a lot of potential, and I'm very excited to see what that's going to turn out like. Anyways, that's it for this EVE talk, and I'll see you all next time.